Welcome, you join me, ADG, and here we are for the team versus team NGR MRC SIMFX Gr3 Endurance Championship. Well, it's not an endurance championship, saying that. It's actually a different kind of championship with different kind of races. So some races are sprint races, and there'll be 2 races held on those weeks, and then some races on some weeks are endurance races. So the first week is a 1-hour endurance race around Mount Panorama motor racing circuit, which is in Australia, otherwise known as Bathurst, and this is a 1-hour race. So thanks for joining me, and hopefully you'll enjoy this. So this is the first time I've done live commentary, so hopefully I will do a decent job. And yeah, I'll try my best. So at the moment we're just in a bit of a practice lobby. Like I say, just waiting for the qualifying session to start, so I'm not going to babble on for too much, otherwise I'll have said everything I need to say by the start of the race. I'm going to keep quiet for now, but yeah, I'm just waiting on qualifying now. I do intend at some point, if we get time, to jump in and actually do a lap, show you a lap of the track, and the difficulties of driving around Bathurst, so you can bear that in mind as you watch the guys battle away for the next hour. It's not an easy track. So, finally got my YouTube up on my phone, messing about for ages. Hello, thank you for joining me, welcome. Nothing really going on at the moment to talk about, it's just practice session going on. We'll join the guys and flip between them. So right, I've got everything up and running by the look of it, and we're good to go. Good close stuff even in practice here from Cutler and Pilgrim Paddy, is it? New names to me in this race and this season for this championship, so do bear with me if I take a while with the names or I occasionally pronounce them wrong. I don't intend to, I'll try my best, but yeah, it's not always easy when there's a bunch of new names to learn, so hopefully you do bear with me. Joe currently set the fastest time in practice. Not quite when it matters yet, but we'll get there in the end. So this race is hosted by Next Gen Racing, I believe, and it's NGR Cutler, which we're looking at now, which is the host for the Pro-Am lobby, and then there's Potham at Pot, which is the host for the Pro lobby, and Dark Smoker's doing the commentary on YouTube live as I am now. Streaming away is Dark Smoker for the Pro race. This championship's brought to us in association with David Appleby Engineering, and which is the DAE stickers on the cars that you'll notice as you go around. Next Gen and Team Oliver Racing, which is a truck racing outfit, which looks pretty good, and energy drink Excite as well. So new names to me, so again, do bear with me, but I will certainly try and keep mentioning those. And we'll certainly be looking out for the logos on the cars as we watch them go by. Cutler having a bit of an incident there, but it doesn't really matter because we're still in practice. So let's go down the field. We've got NGR Robinson, not in any position whatsoever, they're just practicing away. But Joe Winner, we'll just go through the names. NGR Cutler, Sleepless Nights, a guy I'm quite familiar with from SIMFX, I've raced with him quite a bit. Pilgrim Paddy in 5th. NGR Mad Marshall, NGR stands for Next Gen Racing. Graham Reeds, NGR E30, MRC CJW, Sean F1 84, and then we've got Purzel 288, Graham Reeds, I've already mentioned him, and NGR Danzo. So that's going through the whole field, just familiarising myself a little bit with the names. See where Cutler's having a bit of an incident through the dipper by the look of it. So if I've still got time, I'm going to quickly jump in myself before qualifying starts and do a quick lap just to show you the actual difficulties of the track. Everyone will probably think I'm mental and wonder what the hell I'm doing. I'm meant to be doing commentary, not coming out on track, but hopefully it gives you some kind of perspective of the Battle of Bathurst. No one's behind me by the look of it, so I've come out in a reasonable position where I'm not going to affect anyone's race or times or anything. And here we go. So this is the mountain straight. Heading into Griffins, down 3 gears, back up into 3rd mid corner to get the traction. I'm not going to go absolutely flat out. Down 2 gears, make sure you get the cut-in right, nice and close to the wall, and then you can lose a bit of traction on the exit there if you're not careful. And then we start climbing the mountain, and you want to keep flat out through here. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to crash and affect anyone behind me or anything. I shouldn't even be on track. And then over the top here, this is absolutely flat out with maybe a lift here and there just to get the front end turned in, depending on your setup and what car you're in. And then you start heading back down the mountain, and this is a tricky braking zone now. We're heading into the infamous dipper section. So down through the right hander, I'm going incredibly slow, bear in mind. It's a lot harder than this when you're going through at full speed, through the dipper, and then down through the right hander into Forest Elbow, the tight left hairpin, where you come through and you're looking for a really good exit out of there, the best you can do every single lap, so you get the run down Conrod Straight, which is this long straight. Again, I shouldn't really be on track, but I just thought it'd be an interesting way of showing a lap and the struggles of it. And then this is the fastest corner in Australian motorsport apparently. And then you're down 3 gears into 3rd gear, hook up that apex, look for the exit, back over the curb, run as much as you dare, and then run to the outside as much as you dare as well without taking too much liberty and going wide. And then roughly about the 75 metre board, well there's no board, but 75 metre mark, braking down 2 gears, coming out of the last corner in 2nd gear, and over the line for a lap. And then the first corner, which I didn't do because it came out of the pits, is Hell Corner, again down 2 gears. I'm doing it in the wrong gears because I'm going slowly, and that's that. Through Hell Corner, it's a tricky corner to get right, definitely need to get the exit right because it's down Mountain Straight. So crucial corners, 2 massively crucial corners on this track, which is Hell Corner, which leads into Mountain Straight, and then obviously the Forest Elbow Corner, which leads onto Conrod Straight. So yeah, 2 massive corners to potentially make up a lot of time or lose a lot of time if you get them wrong. So it's a big factor of this track is that. And as you might have seen, if you've never seen Bathurst before, I assume most people that'll end up watching this have seen Bathurst before, but it's a tricky track because of all the walls literally everywhere. So that's a bit of a rundown of the track. It's roughly about a 2-minute lap time, just over 2 minutes actually we'll be expecting today, or I would expect. So anyway, we'll go back into spectating, and I think qualifying's roughly about to start. Oh, I've gone back into the race, wrong button. Sorry, not used to all this. Spectate instead. So, we're not quite in qualifying yet. The lobby will reset, or well, there'll be some kind of lobby reset when qualifying restarts. On board with Joe winning out. He's taking it nice and steady into the dipper. Through the skyline's good. Just rolling and coasting away, really, not pushing whatsoever. Really close to that wall on the left hand side, good exit. That's what you want to be doing. If you look closely on the left hand side, just as it say that, it stops. I was about to say, if you look closely on the left hand side of the door, there was a little map of the track, which is quite cool. Good little detail. So this is qualifying about to start. Brought to you by Next Gen Racing. Here we go. So it looks like CJW is the first to jump out on track. So he's very keen to get out there. Purcell follows him. And we've got Sean in third. They're all going to look to burn a bit of fuel this first lap, no doubt, and find the positions on track where they're happy to get ready to put a qualifying lap in. CJW don't want to go out first for some reason. Slipstream probably. So yeah. We'll go through the cars as well, because this is the first race of the championship. So see Purcell there in the Audi R8 coming up the hill on the outlap for the first lap of qualifying, excuse me. We've got Sean in the Jaguar F-Type, and we've got NGR Robinson in the Ford GT. NGR Jambu is in the SLS or AMG. I'm not sure, I always get confused, they look very similar. Joe Winner is in the BMW by the look of it. Yep. And then we've got Madness, Mad Marshall even in the Lexus. So there's a good mix of cars in this. Another AMG or SLS, I'm not sure. AMG, I think that one is. Cutler is in the Beamer. We've got in the Aston Martin by the look of it, Sleepless Nights. Danzo is in the BMW, and then we've got NGR E30 is in the Audi R8. The Viper, Dodge Viper from Graham Reed's there, and then we've got Pilgrim Paddy is in oh, we've started the qualifying now. Pilgrim Paddy is in the BMW. To be honest, I thought qualifying had started, so that's not very observant of me. Right, it's a 15-minute qualifying session and it starts right now. So I jumped the gun before. CJW does exactly the same this time round there, jumps out first. Graham Reeds follows him out in the Dodge Viper. And then we've got the R8 of Purcell behind him. CJW dropping to one side to let the guys past. Looks like Purcell's very keen to get past and get up the hill first. Don't want to be following too closely up the hill. So Purcell takes first and just finding the position on this first lap, the out lap, before they head into the actual fast lap and fast section of qualifying. They've only got 15 minutes, so they could do with putting in quite an early lap just to get a banker lap in there. And yeah, no doubt most people will be looking to do that early on and then looking to burn a bit of fuel, maybe even get some new tyres on there towards the end and get another lap in that is potentially or should be faster. So Purcell's definitely heading out quite quickly to get over the line on his own. We've got Cutler coming down the hill in the I'm not familiar with the cars that everyone's picked yet in the BMW Z4. Oh, bit of a mistake. Oh, it's not good to see. There is damage on, so we don't want to see any contact. It's bunching up as everyone's trying to find the position heading into the end of the first lap, the out lap, and they're all looking to get a reasonable slipstream or reasonable position to head into the first qualifying lap. Anyway, we'll join Purcell as he's probably come over the line. Nope, not yet. Purcell's about to come over the line to start his first flying lap. He's burnt a reasonable amount of fuel on that first lap. Don't know if he's been really trying to, but so there's fuel and tyre wear on. There's definitely strategy involved in these races with tyre saving and fuel as well, especially being a 1 hour endurance race. So there's all that to bear in mind, obviously not as important in qualifying. Got Cutler coming through Griffin now. Gone a little bit wide by the look of it. Touched the wall a little bit up there, so I dare say he might have ruined his potential on this lap now. Taking a wide line through the cutting as well on the exit, daring. So it's risk versus reward around Bathurst. Definitely a track where if you really push you can get a reward, but it can go so easily wrong at the same time. Interesting to see the different cars going around. It's certainly a different choice there. Looks good though with the Rothmans livery. NGR Robinson. Anyway, we'll see jump through and see where Purcell's at, and we'll kind of watch everyone over the line and see what kind of times they've done. Look to see the tyre wear between people as well, and they're quite interesting to actually compare. Everyone pushing hard on the qualifying lap, so it's quite a good representation of tyre wear when the race is on, and they might not be in the position where they can take it easy. They might have to push. So it's 202.332 from Purcell. Seems like a fast time to me. 202.997 from Cutler, 201.475, the fastest yet from NGR Robinson. Good job. A 203.366, a little off the pace there from Jambu. Sean way off the pace. Something must have happened that lap, or he's let people go. 211. 207 from NGR E30. Pilgrim as well, they've taken that lap easy, these guys, with 2:11s, certainly not a competitive lap. So we see CJW in the pits, he's picked up some damage somehow, so he's got front aero and front suspension damage, and looks like Sleepless Nights has got damage as well, so he's got front left suspension damage, front aero and engine damage in the Aston Martin on the first lap, the first flying lap he's been on. So we'll keep an eye on Sleepless Nights. He'll be panicking a little bit now that he's lost a bit of time. Same with CJW, and they need to make sure they get another lap in now because they haven't managed to get a fast lap in yet. So not great for those guys. We've got, I've messed up all the times now. We've got some slow times coming in there as people just running around on that first lap, not really pushing. And then we've got half the field that have actually tried on that first stint to actually try and get a bit of a time out of it. Interesting strategy used throughout the field. Some people are just trying to wear the fuel down and they'll go for almost one fast lap towards the end, maybe try and get two in, but others going for that banker lap early on. Good liveries, has to be said by everyone, with the DAE, the David Appleby Engineering, the XI liveries and the Team Oliver Racing liveries, all looking good. Good job from everyone on that front. Always makes the championship look good when everyone's gone to the effort of actually doing a good delivery. So Jambu comes through to set another time, 2:02.454 this time. And we've got, I'll go through the order now. We've got Perzel, which has got a nearly 0.9 of a second, 9/10 of a second gap to, sorry, we've got NGR Robinson with nearly a 0.9 second gap to Perzel behind him. Perzel in second, Jambu in third, Cutler in fourth, Sean in fifth, NGR E30 in sixth, Pilgrim Paddy in seventh, Joe Winner in eighth at the moment, NGR Mad Marshall in ninth, Sleepless Nights in 10th, CJW in 11th, Danzo in 12th and Graham Reed's in 13th. So there's that's the order at the moment. We're exactly halfway through qualifying now. NGR Robinson's put it in the wall. Oh no, bad for Robinson there. Hopefully that won't be a problem in the race, seeing as though he's in first at the moment. He's put a really fast qualifying time in compared to the others, but hopefully consistency isn't a problem within the race. Be a shame to see him go out in that kind of way. He's picked up damage from that as well. Perzel letting Jambu pass there as they come down the Conrod Straight, sorry. Perzel's picked up some damage, so a lot of damage going on even in this qualifying session. Damage again from Jambu, so I think there's been a bit of contact from either the walls, obviously, I've missed it, but either the walls or between the guys themselves. Oh, gone a bit faster as Cutler, but not quite enough to get him any higher up. Perzel and Jambu in the pits for fresh tyres. Sean coming over the line a bit faster as well, puts him up into 5th. Good lap there from Sean, good improvement. Danzo into 6th now. He's managed to get a good lap in now. 2:04.923 from Danzo. He's gone faster in the first sector, so he's on another flying lap. NGR E30 going into the pits for fresh tyres. No one will be refuelling, believe me. Everyone's trying to lose as much fuel as possible whilst qualifying. See what Joe does here coming over the line. Oh, he's coming over to start his fast lap, sorry. Should have looked, that was the end of his out lap. So onto his fast lap through Hell Corner for the first time. So it looks like Graham's struggling, still yet to put a time in, and NGR Mad Marshall looks like he hasn't got a time in yet either. So those guys at the back need to get a move on now. There's less than 5 minutes left, unless they're planning on starting right at the back. Always an interesting strategy at a track like this. Very difficult track to overtake around is Bathurst. See Mad Marshall pulling over to let Pilgrim Paddy through, trying to be as fair as possible, giving as much room as possible. So we've got Pilgrim Paddy on the fast lap here. He's second up on what he's done previously. Got Danzo come across the line with a 2:04.578. Don't think that's seen him improve. Pilgrim Paddy getting it all wrong into the last corner, really losing a lot of time there, and he's ended up with a 2:06. Good for him though, at least he's got a time in now and he's on the board. He ends up in 9th in the end after that. So let's go back through the order, check out what the guys in top positions are doing. So the fastest time so far is still NGR Robinson with a 2:01.475. Really fast time round here is a 2:01. So good job from NGR Robinson there. Good work. You can see as well, it's in fact, I'm not sure why, but on lap 5, it must have been an out lap. Lap 5 he's done a 2:01.936, so that's not classed as his fastest lap for some reason. I'm guessing it must have been an out lap. We've got Purcell with a 2:02.332. So quite the difference. Purcell will be looking to try and gain that extra little bit to catch Robinson and maybe take pole off him. Robinson is in the Ford GT, so GT40 I think it is. So it's got really good straight line speed. So down Conrad Straight, it just takes advantage of that, and that's probably where the time's coming from Robinson. We've got Jambu just about to come over the line. Let's see if we can improve. It's looking good on the time at the top. It's a 2:01.393. Jambu goes pole. Nice work there from Jambu. Didn't actually stick with his lap, unfortunately, but really good work in the end. Gets the lap time to beat Robinson. Robinson's on a slow one as well. He's coming towards the end of the lap to start a fast one by the look of it. He's only just got enough time left to get one more lap in, so he needs to make sure it's a good one. He's having a practice start. I don't know what's going on there. Jambu looks like he's probably going for an improvement on this next lap. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what Purcell's doing as well. Keep an eye on that. Purcell's done a 2:01.705. So Purcell in third place with an improved lap, but not actually got himself any higher up, unfortunately. CJW coming through now. I was getting worried about CJW. It's taken him a while to set a fast lap, but he's got himself up into 4th position. Good job there from CJW from the MRC. Sleepless Nights doing a good job. Oh, Joe Winner's got up there into 4th now. So Joe Winner's just finished a fast lap, a 2:01.877 from Joe. Really fast time. Basically, if you're in the 2:01s round here, it's really quite a quick time. These guys have all got tuning on, but yeah, a 2:01 is quick. So Joe Winner doing a good job to jump in front of CJW there and get up into 4th position. CJW demoted into 5th. Sleepless Nights still filling up. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to get a lap in, or he's just waiting in the pits now, I'm not sure. Cutler coming towards the end of the lap. He's currently in 7th with a 2:02.992. Yep, that's right. Felt like I read that wrong then. Can he improve? No, it's not looking like it. 204 basically in the end. Danzo, can he improve? There's only 4 seconds left, so can Danzo get over the line? Nope. So this is Danzo's last lap. Can he improve? Nope. Danzo sees himself starting in 8th unless he gets knocked down any further. So we're looking for Pilgrim Paddy to improve. See if there's any improvement from him. Mad Marshall looks like he's on his best sector at the top, so we'll see him come over the line, see what he does. In 12th currently. He's already 204 as he comes through the last corner, so it's not going to be a fantastic time, but see where he comes. 208.8, it's an improvement for him, so that's good. NGR, Mad Marshall in 12th. Graham Reed's still yet to set a time by the look of it, so I don't know what's happened with him, or he just isn't a big fan of this track and decided not to. So yeah, let's see what else is going on. Is anyone else still going? Joe Winner coming towards the end of another lap. Purzel still going. Jambu looks like he might still be on a fast one. 202.188 is the fastest from Jambu on lap 7 there. So that's a really quick time, not far off a sub 201, which is certainly impressive round Bathurst in a Group 3 car. Thanks for joining me so far, whoever's joined and stuck with me. I've got my messages up as well, so feel free to write me a message if you there's anything particular I've missed out. It is my first time of doing live commentary. I'm familiar with doing replays, but it's a bit different, so if there's anything you feel I'm doing wrong or I could improve in any way, shape or form, let me know. So Cutler comes through with an improved time. Yeah, I think it is. He still sees himself in 7th, which he was before, so it's a good result from Cutler there. He's improved slightly on his fastest lap with a 202.973, so that's more or less qualifying over for most there, I think. We're just waiting for the time to run down and the race will start. Very exciting. This is going to be a good one, I've got a feeling. The damage is going to be a crucial factor in this race. There's been quite a lot of damage in practice already and qualifying, so the guys that he expects to be at the top might not be, depending on what happens. We shall see. It's kind of a new group of guys to me. There's a few familiar names in there to me, but not a lot, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these guys go. Hopefully they keep it nice and clean. How's it going, Jimmy Johnson? I'll get to that in a minute. I can't really miss the race start, it'll be sacrilege, so I'm going to jump on board, which I can't seem to do. Jump on board all the way, so we're away. I can't seem to jump on board with anyone. We've got Purzel in 3rd, Jambu 2nd. He's lost it to Robinson, so Robinson's got through Hell Corner around the outside. Purzel coming through behind. Purzel, MRC, CJW has got a good start. Joe Winner side by side. Joe Winner's got the inside line into Griffin's, the next corner. We've got 3 wide behind them. We've got Sleepless Nice, Cutler and Pilgrim Paddy all very, very close. Does everyone get through clean? Looks like it. Exciting stuff to start off with. Everyone trying to find their position in the race. Pilgrim Paddy's looking a little bit feisty, looking like he wants to get past Cutler, or he's a bit annoyed about something by the look of it, one way or the other. Looks like he's having a bit of a struggle. So away we go onto lap 1. Generally it looks like a quite clean start. Cutler running wide on. Cutler's gone into the wall. He ghosts for a second. CJW is caught behind him as he unghosts. Unpredictable when that happens. Oh, we've got a moment ahead as well. Looks like Joe Winner's just gone a little bit wide. Sleepless Nights up into 4th. So it's all going on this first lap. Everyone trying to find some kind of rhythm round Bathurst. It's not easy, especially when you've gone from qualifying where you might have been a nice gap to everyone to racing round bumper to bumper all of a sudden. So we'll go through the order from the top. Robinson in first, he's managed to get past Jambu. Jambu in second, we know he's got the pace from qualifying. Purzel in third. We've got Sleepless Nights right on his tail within the slipstream in the Aston Martin, trying to get past him for third. In fourth currently though. Will he make the move? It's a bit early in the race, it's an hour-long endurance race. It would be a bit early to go for the dive on lap 1. So good stuff so far. Joe Winner in fifth. Had that little moment, but I think he's gathered it up. Let's see if he's got any damage. Nope, he's managed to get away without damage. We see CJW with rear aero damage, so that tells me someone's gone into the back of him at some point. Danzo with front aero damage. I'm saying nothing, my suspicions are keeping to myself. But Danzo's got front right suspension damage as well, sorry. I had a beer earlier and it's repeating on me. Sean in 8th position in the Jag with the rather British livery. The Next Gen on the back, racing for Next Gen, I'm guessing. Got NGR E30 in 9th, Mad Marshall in 10th, Cutler finding himself in 11th after starting in 7th position, so not a great start. I've missed what happened exactly there from Cutler. It's a bit tricky to keep an eye on exactly what's going on between everyone, the 13 people on track, and it's all a bit hectic at the beginning, so do forgive me if I missed any massive action going on. Pilgrim Paddy in 12th. Did a reasonable job in qualifying. I think he got himself up into 9th in the end, so he's dropped back a little bit. Bit of a shame, but at least he's on the way now, and he can get into the race. Graham Reed's driving round at the back with damage, so he'll need to pit this lap, get that sorted, and get back into the race as best he can. Anyway, we'll look for the action now as it's all no doubt settled down slightly. We've got Mad Marshall right behind. Right in front of Cutler. Cutler trying to apply the pressure. Coming down Conrod Straight now. Cutler will be sat in the slipstream looking to get past. Top 3 are still the same. Robinson, Jambu and Purzel make up our podium at the moment. So Cutler gets past before the end, before the chase actually. Nice job there from Cutler, gets past Mad Marshall and pulls a little bit of a lead already just through that section, so good job there from Cutler, working hard to get himself back into the race. E30 is right behind, NGR E30 sorry, is right behind Sean. Let's see how the R8 does. I've been told it's a very quick car in this championship, so look at that, the slipstream tells us it is. Just catching him really quite quickly. For some reason I can't change the camera angles, so I'd like to be able to change to on board and everything like that, but for some reason it won't let me. So yeah, I'll just guess I can't go messing about too much and stopping the stream or anything, so I guess we'll just have to bear with it. Hopefully it'll give us a good enough view everywhere we go. We'll give it a bit of variety by putting on variable. So good stuff so far. In fact, I don't like variable, it zooms in all the time where I don't like it. Anyway, right, Danzo is on his own at the moment in 7th in the BMW. We've got CJW in 6th. Not a lot going on apart from Joe Winner all over the back of Sleepless Nights. Let's keep an eye on this for a minute or two. Looking for the opportunity. He's already made it move. He's already made it clear his intention there. He's going for a move, and he's got it done before the chase. Good move there from Joe Winner, using the straight line speed of the BMW and the slipstream to get past nice and early, so they're not putting too much, they're not risking too much into the last corner. Good work. Right, I'll get to these messages now. Smashing it, Eddie, good work and thank you very much. Ah, is that what I need to do? Right. Will it let me back in? I hope it will. Right, have we got all the cameras now? Yes, thank you very much for that. That's better. I can change up and give you a bit of perspective. I always like giving the onboard perspective. It gives a completely different view of the race from the guys. So let's find the best onboard perspective and let's abuse it now. I found it. How to do it. Oh, what's that? What's that? Purcell has dropped it. Has absolutely dropped it. He's picked up damage as well, so he's got front aero damage. He's got a little bit of rear tyre wear. I wonder if that had anything to do with that. But Purcell's lost it from third position, dropped into fifth. Looked like he was doing a nice job, nice and consistent laps. If you look on the right hand side, I know we're not that far into the race, but doing a good job, and that's how easy it is around Bathurst. Looks like he lost it going into the cutting. So easily done. I've done it myself a lot of times, so I completely understand, but it's absolutely gutting when you do it. So I'm starting to look at the fuel usage between the guys now as well. Let's compare that as we go through. We're now 7.5 minutes into this race, 8 minutes into it, so we're well and truly away. People have found the rhythm and looking to chase each other down now. So we've got quite a small gap as we're catching a back marker. So Robinson in first position is finding himself chased down, oversteer through the last corner as well to deal with. He's getting chased down by Jambu, but we've actually got a back marker ahead as well. Luckily, the back marker is going to get caught on the straight, no doubt, especially if he's paying attention to the blue flags. He should let these guys pass before Griffin, where they start heading up the hill. I say hill, it's a mountain. So let's see what happens here. This could be quite interesting. Hopefully the Dodge Viper, it looks like, isn't going to affect the guys at the top. Yeah, it does the right thing, pulls over. I was getting a bit concerned about that then. So pulls over in the right place in the end and lets these guys through. Sleepless nights might not catch him in such a good place though. But good battle going on between these guys in first and second. We'll stick with it for a bit longer. This is for the lead at the end of the day. Good close stuff. I know out of experience, I've driven it myself at times, but not very often because it's not my kind of car. But the Ford you're watching in front is not an easy car to handle, as we see from Robinson there going wide. Just lost it through the dipper. I think he got away without damage. He didn't actually make a massive mistake. He just lost time and went wide, went deep into the corner, and Jambu had the opportunity just to drive past really. So Jambu up into first. I'm glad I watched that now. Robinson's definitely struggling. Those rear tyres as well, if you compare, they're roughly about the same, but Robinson's definitely struggling a little bit more with oversteer and the control through the corners with that car. And the SLS, I think it was up front. It's hard to tell between the AMG and the SLS. I believe that's the SLS. As Jambu jumps in the pits now, so that was unexpected. Jambu decides to jump in the pits, lets Robinson go around for another lap, which I do fear Robinson will struggle with. Not because he's a bad driver in any shape or form, even though I'm not that familiar with him, but from my experience so far with him tonight, he seems perfectly capable. So he's just got the tyre wear, so can he get round this next lap without losing too much time? Jambu's pitted and he's already out of the pits. Jambu's got new tyres on, not gone for any fuel, but he's right behind Robinson. So it's definitely worked in Jambu's favour as that. So long as Jambu can keep this a consistent race now, Jambu's definitely made that an opportunity for himself to make a win out of this race. Joe Winner still hasn't pitted, but his tyre wear ain't actually too bad. Not quite as bad as the guys in front that have been pushing that bit harder. Comes through the cut-in on lap 6 now. Little lift through there just to get the car settled and the front end turned in. CJW, raced with CJW quite a bit personally, and He's a good racer, also does commentary as well. Shout out to Dart Smoker again. Dart Smoker is doing exactly the same as me for the pro guys right now. He's got a live stream going with commentary. So I'm not saying go over there and watch him. By all means, stay here with me and watch me. But yeah, just letting you know that he's doing the same thing for the pro guys. Oh, big moment there. Big moment. Who's that? It's who's actually? Oh no, it's Backmarker. Sorry, I got all excited all of a sudden. Then Backmarker getting out of the way as the faster guys are coming through, and he's managed to bin it. Oh, I had a bit of a moment there, but it manages to play into the hands of Sleepless Nights. So Sleepless Nights with the slipstream, the mistake, gets past CJW. Comes into the last couple of corners before he goes on to lap 7, unless he comes into the pits this time round. Nope, doesn't look like he's gonna. It's too late now. CJW follows him for another lap as well. CJW has still got that rear aero damage, but it shouldn't affect his car too badly, I dare say. So good stuff so far. Good driving going on. It could have been a lot worse. We are at Bathurst, and the potential for mistakes is huge. So we've seen some good racing going on, but a few little mistakes creeping in here and there. Sleepless Nights is having a good race in this one. In 3rd position so far. He's done a good job. Same with CJW. Purzel's had the issues so far, but he's managed to get back on track. And if we look at his lap times again, he's done a fair few fast laps there after he picked up that little bit of damage and he's had to pit. He's back into the zone and he's right on the back of CJW now, so we'll go on board with him and watch the battle for 4th position. Will he put the pressure on? Where will he try and do it? If he does it this lap, it's incredibly hard to find the space to get past anywhere down here. Oh, CJW's got it. Oh no! It's a real shame to see CJW's binned it. CJW heading down into the dipper. He's got it all wrong. Oh no! And then NGR Robinson and Purzel have come together as well. So it's all going on through there this lap. Lap 7 is a crucial one for a few guys up front. CJW losing out the most out of those guys. Oh, it's a terrible mistake to see. Unfortunate there for CJW. Real shame to see him do that, but it's so easy again. It's so easy to do on this track. Tyre wear involved as well. Gutted for him. I'm gutted for any driver that does it. But yeah, Robinson manages to get away without any contact as that all happened. They're in and around him. And Purzel's got the last corner wrong as well. Second to last corner wrong, gone over the grass. So Purzel having a bit of a moment as well on the end of lap 7. It's all kicking off on lap 7. It really is. Danzo up into 6th place now, so we haven't seen Danzo that high up for a while, and he's choosing to go into the pits, funnily enough, but finds himself in 6th with that mistake from CJW. Look at CJW's damage before he goes in the pits. Oh my god, unfortunate lap that's all I can say for him. Bad mistake, and it just all went wrong for him down into the dipper. So Cutler might be able to make the most of this opportunity with unnecessary pit stops going on around him. So Cutler, he does. He's up in 6th position. You see Danzo in 7th coming out of the pits, and CJW coming out of the pits in 8th. So CJW has lost a lot of time fixing that car up with the damage, and unfortunately finds himself in 8th now. Was having a really good race up there. We'll go through the guys further back. Not a lot of action going on towards the back. We've got NGR E30 in the pits from 10th position. Pilgrim Paddy in the pits in 11th. Mad Marshall looks like he's pitted. He's gone onto the hard tyre. Bit of a different strategy from Mad Marshall right at the back. See how that works for him in the long run. And oh, good evening, Sean. Sorry I didn't see that message there. And Graham Reed's still right at the back, just having his own race really, trying to get out of the way of the guys that are coming through. He's already been lapped, so he's cautious now of the guys that are catching him up behind. He's just taking it nice and steady, having his own race, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's found himself in a league where the guys are really quite quick, and he obviously needs to get a bit more of experience. But there's no other, well, there's no better way to do that than joining a league and seeing how fast the guys are, basically. Anyway, on to the action. Let's see what's going on. Oh, bit of a wall tap there from CJW by the sound of it. Luckily he's not picked up any damage if it was. Different strategy going on between a few of the guys. If we look on the tyres and the fuel, some guys have got perfectly fresh tyres. Purzel in the pits again. He's got rear suspension, rear aero damage, sorry. Getting some fresh tyres on and refueling as well this time round. Sleepless nights in the pits this time as well. Very loud as the Aston Martin gets going coming out of the pits. Good job though, pit stop done for Sleepless, and still finds himself in 4th. So good position to be in. I'm going to have a little bit of a breather because I don't feel like I've stopped talking yet, so going to have a minute to myself and a little bit of a drink. Oh, what's that going on? We've got NGR Robinson getting past another back marker by the look of it. Not familiar with everyone's car, so I can't off the top of my head tell you exactly who's who. Joe running round in second. He's got an 11-second gap to catch up to Jambu in front. But he's also got a 13-second gap to Robinson behind him, so he's in a very comfortable position in second. But he's going to want to try and push as hard as he can after the pit stop, particularly. Not right at the moment because he's got worn tyres. Comes through for another lap though, decides not to pit this time round. He's in a good healthy position. He's still setting lap times of 2:05 that time round. Must have had a bit of a mistake, but consistent 2:02s before that. So good work from Joe Winner. And overall he had a bit of a mixed start by the look of it, but it's ended up coming good for him at this point in the race. We're nearly 20 minutes through now, so nearly a third of the way through the race for those that are good at maths. Fast times, if you look on the right hand side, put in quite consistent as well. A few mixed ones in and amongst there. Oh, we see Robinson collecting the wall. Luckily it's not hard enough to pick up any damage, but collecting the wall on the exit of Griffin there. It's a tricky corner to get right. If you do get a bit of understeer going, you do find yourself heading towards that wall, as you do on most corners on this track. See what else is going on. I'm going to skip through, bear with me. Oh, we've got Jambu. We've got Jambu catching a back marker through Forest Elbow. Pulls to one side, does the back marker. It looks like he's all over the place, so Jambu will have been slightly worried about that one. But he's still retaining a good lead over Joe Winner. He's not lost any time to worry about there. But he's certainly looking at a pit stop as a look at the fuel. He's nearly out of fuel, so Jambu coming into the pits this lap round. Joe Winner will be doing the same actually, no fuel. So let's look at the kind of gap Robinson will have, as the guys in front are both going to have to pit. Not sure he'll get past them, but he'll be a lot closer obviously. And the battle for second position might be on. So Joe Winner in the pits now as well. Robinson coming round. We've got Jambu already out of the pits, so he's not going to get Jambu, but will he get Joe? Joe's still sat there. So Jambu has got away with it, but Joe having to take on the fuel, he's decided to take on a lot more than Jambu by the look of it. And Robinson's got past him in the pits, so might be a bit of a tricky one for Joe to get past. Sleepless Nights is also, nope, sorry, nope, Joe Winner's come out in third, got that wrong for a second there. Sleepless Nights is in fourth. And then Purcell with a slightly unfortunate race, a couple of scuffs on the front of his car there, in fifth, but still keeping the pace going. Actually got a broken headlight as well. Shows he's been in the wars a little bit in that Audi. One of my ex-teammates from an endurance championship is Diablo in the Pro League, and he's picked the Audi, I believe, this season. So, if no doubt, if Diablo's picked it, it's probably a really quick car. He knows his stuff, and he always does a lot of testing. So let's see what's going on with Danzo. Not really seen a lot of action from Danzo really. He's had quite a quiet race so far. Seems to have been on his own a lot. In 6th position at the moment though. I think he was in 7th last time we checked in on him, so he's gained the position on CJW. CJW still battling away in the AMG. Not a huge amount of action going on at the moment, so just kind of skip through and keep an eye on everyone and see what's going on. The gap's obviously not huge between these guys. Let's see if CJW can get any kind of run on him out of this Forest Elbow corner and onto Conrad Straight. So they're up to 160 mile an hour before they get into 6th gear. Up to 170 now with a slipstream. 175 from CJW there in the slipstream towards the end of the straight after the trace. So quite impressive speed really. Hello and thank you for joining me. You've missed a great start, a bit of action here and there, and don't worry though, there's certainly plenty to come. There's more than half the race left. We've got CJW looking for the inside line into hell. It's not an easy corner to go through on your own, never mind side by side. Bit of respect and room given by Danzo there, and CJW manages to slip it up the inside, no pun intended, innuendo intended, and finds himself in 6th position after that good move. Good work there from CJW. Looking back as well, he's managed to do a good enough job to keep in front and keep the NGR Danzo behind him in the BMW. Could have had a go back at him potentially with a slipstream, but got the job done well enough through Hell Corner to get the gap. So good work there, and another position change for the better for CJW. Oh, what was that? Sleepless Nights looks like he's going a little bit slow in front. Purcell chasing him down. There's only a 3-second gap between these guys. And Purcell's definitely got the run down here, so if we look at Sleepless, that's why Sleepless has actually picked up some damage and front, oops, didn't mean to do that. He's got damage and front suspension damage as well, front aero damage, so Purcell's going to catch him now. Question is, will Sleepless have to pit, or will he choose to go around and harbour the damage for a lap? In my opinion, Sleepless is better off pitting. Oh, he's chosen to stay out. So this is Purcell's chance now to get up into 4th position, I dare say. All Purcell needs to do, he's got quite low fuel as well, so he's got a decent amount of pace in that car at the moment. All he needs to do is push on this lap and stick in that slipstream, and he should be able to catch up with Sleepless in front of him. That might be a mistake that Sleepless regrets in the end. Look at the time coming down. He's not really in the slipstream range, isn't Purcell at the moment, but the time's still coming down the straights, and that's what I'm talking about. And all the way up this hill, Sleepless is going to, I keep saying hill, mountain, Sleepless is going to struggle. Stay on board with him. Look, he's got oversteer going on, a bit of understeer at the same time almost, and it's a struggle to drive that car by the look of it at the moment. Looked like he almost tried to smash his other side to give himself equal damage, left and right. I'm sure he didn't mean to do that though. So looking back at Purcell, he has closed the gap in, and by Conrod straight he'll actually be in the slipstream. Let's see what the gap is. So the gap between Robinson and Joe Winner's grown, not that big actually, sorry, not grown. This is where I fail at live commentary. It's hard to get your words right every single time and not make mistakes. I made a mistake then saying mistakes. So here he comes, Purcell. It's not going to be enough down Conrad this time round though, but he's certainly closing in. Will this be a warning sign for Sleepless? Will he jump in the pits this time round? He's been caught incredibly fast. Hopefully he's been looking at the delta times, otherwise he's leaving himself vulnerable. Oh, it's actually the other way around, so shows what I know. That surprised me. It's Purcell that jumps in the pits, right. Well, I wasn't expecting that, as you can probably tell. So let's see if CJW can come through. He probably will manage it, I dare say, because Purcell will be taking on fuel, and it always takes quite a long time in the pits once you're looking at fuel. So CJW definitely looking for another pit stop in the not too distant future. His tyres have started to go, and he's not got too much fuel left. So there's all sorts of different strategies playing up now. Now there's a few pit stops already happened, and the strategies are playing out. They also might change from this point on depending on what people are thinking, and seeing how they can maybe get themselves higher up in the race if they choose a different tyre compound maybe, or look at putting more fuel on in the next pit stop so they don't have to pit for fuel as often and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens. Purcell in 5th after his pit stop, so he's come out in the same position he was in, so it's not been that dramatic an effect for him, but he's obviously lost the opportunity to chase down Sleepless Nights quite as quickly as he was. It'll all come good as the pit stop happens, and Sleepless has to repair his car. So we'll keep an eye on the leader, and we'll stick with him for a lap. As we get to the halfway point in the race, Jambu's pretty much been in the lead the whole way. He's got a 28-second lead to the guy behind, which is Joe Winner. So he's obviously doing a really good job. He's set the fastest time in the race from anyone so far of a 2:07.75. So really quick to be in the 2 minutes and under the 2:01s in race pace. So yeah, that's really quite quick, and very good lap there from Jambu. Commend you on that one. That is not easy around Bathurst. Jambu just needs to keep it clean. He doesn't actually need to push at this stage in the race every single lap. He just needs to keep it on the track, no damage, and he's got enough of a lead to have a cushion, excuse me, a cushion for a pit stop. So you don't want to compromise that in any way by risking it too much and getting any damage. So it's certainly been a sensible thing to do from Jambu, just to take a nice easy approach now, and have a nice pace to him, and just get around the track nice and steady. Evening Billy, how's it going? Hopefully I'm doing a reasonable job of this. I know you watch a few of my streams and stuff like that, so hopefully it's coming across okay. Bit different as doing live commentary, believe it or not. I know I do a lot of videos and stuff. By all means, if you haven't seen my stuff before as well, feel free to go through and have a look. But yeah, a bit different for me. So good lap there from Jambu, 2:02.408 in the end, so not quite as quick as we expected. He's backed off a little bit and he's just eased off that pace. Still an incredibly quick lap, to be fair, at 2:02.4, but obviously Jambu's capable of getting the 2:01s and quicker, so he's gone round rather conservatively on that one, I dare say. being quite new to most of these guys. I wasn't quite sure who I was looking at to be up there as the fast guys. Jambu's obviously one to keep an eye on, and Joe Winner seems very consistent throughout this race so far as well. Robinson's had his moments, but I dare say he's a good driver, is Robinson. To pick that car and still be in third position without too many mistakes around Bathurst, he's got to be a good driver, so credit to him so far. Purcell's back up into fourth. Bit of a battle going on throughout this race so far for fourth position. It keeps exchanging really between Sleepless Nights and Purcell at the moment. Good to hear you alright, mate. That's a great livery. There is some really good liveries out there. A lot of effort goes into these liveries by the look of it. Did the FIAs? Yeah, I'm not surprised. They can be a bit dirty. Good of you to join me though. I hope you're enjoying it. So let's catch as we head down into the braking zone for the dipper. Robinson going a little bit over the grass. Managed to gather it up quite nicely, to be fair to him. And heads down towards Conrod Straight now. Like I say, he seems to be driving that quite difficult car, the Ford GT. Really driving it quite well. Certainly better than I could probably drive it. I have a magic voice, thank you very much. It's all that Yorkshire water. That's water for those down south that don't understand. So Jambu's out of the pits. I've completely missed it. He jumped in the pits and he's back out into first place. So like I say, built that nice cushion, built up a nice gap to Joe behind him, and he comfortably has a pit stop and comes out in front again. Impressive stuff. Sorry if I'm skipping it through a little bit too much. I'm literally just trying to keep the action going. Oh, excuse me. So we've got Sleepless Nights catching Cutler, or trying to catch Cutler. 2.5 second gap between them. But crucially, if the back marker in front, again, I apologise, not familiar with his name. I was going to say, if the back marker in front just carries on through Elkhorn and not too bad, Sleepless will get the slipstream all the way down. Turns out he's slowed him right down and given him damage. So that wasn't great from the back marker there, and he's not really, I don't want to be harsh to him, but he's not really doing what he should be doing when he's under blue flags. I know he doesn't want to ruin his own race and he's trying to keep his own pace going, but at the same time, when the faster guys are coming through and you're getting lapped, you need to move out of the way. It's just a hit you've got to take. It might be a hit to your pride and your ego, but it's something you've got to do. It's not fair if you're giving people damage because you're unpredictable, and that looks like that's what just happened there. I'm not exactly sure. To be fair, Sleepless might have had that damage already. I didn't quite catch it, but I'm expecting that's where that damage came from there. So not great to see. And that's certainly not something we want to see in league racing if we can help it. Mistakes happen at the end of the day, and no one's perfect. We all have our bad races and yada yada yada. But at the same time, we want to try and avoid the obvious ones that are avoidable, which is stuff like that. Oh, what's going on? It's happening again by the look of it. So this Graham guy is getting in the way of other people. It looks like it's not. Again, it looks like he might have taken someone else out in front there. It's not the guy in front of him, so it's someone else higher up that he might have taken out as they've just come through the field. Let's see, it looks like they're coming down Conrod Straight. So who's coming down Conrod Straight right now? CJW, is it CJW? I think it is CJW, so he's managed to get past without damage or anything actually, which is lucky. Could have been worse. Looked like there was also, oh, what's this? NGR Cutler's binned it going into the pits. It's actually quite easy to do, believe it or not, on this track. It's a bit of a tight pit entry, and he's binned it going into the pit, so Cutler, a bit of an embarrassing moment for him. He's picked up damage as well that he'll have to repair, and it's really quite bad, so he's going to be sat there for a while, getting fuel, getting damage. Pretty much ruined his race and his final position there, unless he can get back into this race. See the TOR and DAE logos on the side there from David Appleby Engineering and Team Olive Racing, the truck racing team, which have sponsored this season, I believe. I'll try and get better at this, the knowledge of this championship as the weeks go by. I'm doing the full championship for the Pro-Am season, so do feel free to subscribe and stick with me, and give us a like if you enjoy these things. But yeah, I'll be doing the full season, so hopefully I should get better at all this kind of stuff, and should get a bit more familiar with the guys, if nothing else, and be able to commentate on them a little bit better and know they're driving a little bit better. So Robinson is in 4th now, so I'm not sure what's happened. Again, it could be the pit stops. We actually see Robinson on the medium now, so he's gone for a longer stint, filled up the fuel, and he's going to try and go to the end, I imagine, on the mediums. Maybe he might try and push for it. It might be difficult. Purcell's the opposite. He needs to pit now. You're right, ghosting does come into its own, but at the same time this is quite a serious championship with damage on and everything else, fuel and tyre wear, so it's trying to emulate real life as much as possible, I guess, and yeah, that's part of it. You don't have ghosted cars in real life. If someone's driving around at the back and they need to let people pass, they need to let people pass and not make it difficult for them at the end of the day. Oh, you've got 4 accounts, thank you very much. That's embarrassing, that's 4 people instead of just, well, it looks like 4 people, it was just 1. Cheers, Billy, appreciate it a lot, thank you very much. And thank you to anyone that subscribed recently. It certainly seemed to have shot up recently, so appreciate it to anyone that's hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel recently. Or not even recently, anyone that did it ages ago and that stuck with me as well. Anyway, I'm talking about myself a little bit too much. This shouldn't really be about me. It's about the racing. There's not a lot of action to commentate on at the moment, that's my issue. We've got Jambu still setting fast times. He's got a little bit of tyre wear and he's still managed to put in a 201.664 on the last lap. See what this one is. So it's a 201.571, so it's even faster than his last lap that he's just done. And yeah, see the back marker well and truly getting out of the way, but getting it completely wrong on the exit of Hell Corner, and now he's just sat there on the grass spinning round. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way for anyone else. Joe Winner coming through to finish lap 19 now. See what kind of lap time he's doing in comparison. A 204.884, so quite a bit slower than Jambu in front of him. There's a 30-second gap to Robinson behind him now, and Robinson's got a 7-second gap to Purcell behind him. Purcell and Sleepless Nights are probably the closest at the moment, with 4 seconds between them. And then Sleepless has got a 19-second gap to Cutler behind him. Again, Cutler's got a gap of 11 seconds to CJW, so the gaps are huge between pretty much everyone really. So we'll keep an eye on, what was it? It was Sleepless Nights and Purcell. Looks like Purcell's making good of that one though. It was 4 seconds a minute ago. Sleepless Nights seems to have had no luck in this race for damage. He's had quite a good race all in all, but damage wise he seems to have had aero damage for the majority of the race. So yeah, he's been struggling with that one, but it's not slowed him down too much. I dare say it's probably lost him a little bit of lap time overall, and he maybe possibly could have been higher up in this race had it not been for the aero damage he's picked up. But I dare say that the majority of it probably wasn't his fault either. It was probably something that happened in front that he couldn't avoid. So we just see the gap growing now to Purcell, as Purcell's doing a good job on this lap. As we join him there, he does go a little bit wide on the grass there. We'll jump on board actually, take a lap on board with the German Purcell from NGR, I believe. Seems like most of the drivers are from NGR, believe it or not. A few guys from the MRC and SIMFX Gr3. Joe Winner's now in the pits. Needs fuel, he's right down on his fuel, hardly on the left. So he's dived in the pits to get fresh tyres on, no doubt, as well. And refuel. Let's see what happens to him. See where he comes out. So he's chosen to go on the soft at this point in the race now. And we've got Robinson not actually that far behind him. So it's an 8-second gap roughly as Joe Winner gets going down the straight in front of Robinson. Going through the cut-in on lap 21. Doing a good job on the medium tyres. Looks like the rears are wearing slightly faster than the fronts, but all in all, doing a good job. Quite an oversteery car by the look of it, and quite hard to control, so certainly not as planted as most cars are over the top of the mountain there. Oh, what's that? I hope that's back marker and not a massive issue for someone. For their sake, that is. Let's check out the gaps again. Oh, what's happened here? Sleepless Nights is right behind chasing Purcell now. We'll keep an eye on this. I'm not sure what's happened between the guys there, but certainly bunched up very quickly between them. We weren't that close a minute ago. Purcell's going to lose here. I don't see how he can keep it. He can't go too aggressive with the defensive move. It's a straight at the end of the day. You'd just be hitting someone off if he did. So he slips into the slipstream of Sleepless as he goes past and tries to stick with him as they head through the chase into the braking zone for the last chicane. Yeah, I hope they sort out that penalty thing. The penalties, if there's a maintenance thing, that can only be what it's about, surely. So, where's Robinson gone? What's just happened to Robinson? Have I just completely missed something there? What have I just missed there? Something massive, but I'm not sure what. I looked down for a second. Anyway. Oh. Nothing really. I thought Robinson was involved in that battle, but it was Sleepless and Purcell. That's my that's just me unfamiliar with the names again, getting confused. So I thought I'd missed something then, but I didn't. It is what I just watched. So quite a good race so far, pretty consistent from the guys. I'm expecting different racing throughout this championship, with there being sprint races and endurance races. So obviously a bit of a different strategy going on between the actual races as well. Not always going to go for the same kind of tyre strategy and whatnot, just because of that. So yes, should be an interesting championship, and there certainly seems to be some quick drivers in here that should give us some good entertainment. Bathurst, to be honest, it's a good track, but it's certainly not the most entertaining overtake wise or anything like that. It's a tricky track to overtake on, and even follow quite closely on is quite tricky. So yeah, it's not always the most, don't always throw up the most action, let's put it that way. The cars are tuned, yes, they're all tuned, so everyone's come up with their own little tuning or being helped out by a fellow friend or whatnot, looked up a tune online. There's various different ways of getting tunes, but yeah, there's tuning on this. So I think Jambu is probably, without knowing him too well, quite good at tuning. Not taking away from his driving though, he's obviously quite good at driving as well. He's had a really good race, and certainly looking at those lap times, he is not slow. Certainly a lot faster than I can possibly do around here. If you joined me right at the start of the stream, I actually did a lap myself to show you the difficulties of Bathurst, if you've never actually been round here yourself and you've joined me. So I went round the track quite slowly without any speed really, but just pointing out the hazardous bits and everything else. So it's not an easy track at all really, and the guys have done a good job of making it look easy really. So what else is going on? There seems to be, every time I jump to this Joe winner, there seems to be someone pulling over for him in front of him. The gaps are huge, so there's not a lot of action going on, so I'm just going to skip between the guys and just give them all a little bit of coverage really. We'll skip to Joe now for a minute or two, and then, well, won't last that long, but just go through everyone, check out the liveries as we go as well, zoom in and have a bit of a look, and see how everyone's going really. Spend more than 10 seconds with them as I flick through. Danzo's just pitted, coming out in 8th position. So Sleepless into the pits now. Needs fresh tyres, gets a chance to repair his car after quite a long stint with damage. So heads back out with fresh tyres. Purcell in the pits, Cutler in the pits. So definitely pit stop time, pit stop windows open for the last stint basically. 11 minutes left of this race, so it's basically roughly around 5 or 6 laps is that. And at this point in the race, people are thinking that they can manage to make a set of tyres last that long. So away we go, and we've got really quite close together all of a sudden, which is good for me. Bit of action to commentate on. Sleepless Nights and Purcell side by side into Griffin. Sleepless dives down the inside very confidently. Does a good job though, didn't see any contact, so clean move, and nicely done on Purcell there. Forced the issue, he was not prepared to sit behind for long there and got the job done. Nice to see the ADG logo on his car there as well. So really good move there from Sleepless on Purcell, and certainly didn't want to be following him round, and he's made sure that didn't happen as quickly as possible. That was impressive, quite aggressive but impressive. Evening Birthright, how's it going mate? Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you're enjoying this. So yeah, that was a good bit of action, although it was quite brief between those two. Whoa, we see Cutler cutting the chicane. Robinson in the pits now, decided that his mediums aren't quite going to get him to the end of the race, so he's coming to the pits. Let's see where that brings him out in front of Sleepless. This might become a bit of a freeway race. I'm not sure why Purcell's dropped off quite so much off Sleepless straight away, but he has done. There's no super soft tyre as well, in case you're wondering why no one's picking the super soft tyre. It's not an option, it's soft to hard is the options. No super soft, I forgot to mention that earlier. Nearly an hour into the race and now I mention it. But there you go, that's my professionalism all over. Blue flag's been waved. I'm not sure who fought. I don't think it's Sleepless. Coming through the cutting, I'll just watch him because it's a particularly dodgy part of the track. Coming through there. So yeah, again, checking out the gaps. We've got big gaps between people. Sleepless and Purzel are pretty much the closest. We'll go on board with Purzel, see if we can make any time up. We've got Cutler in the pits. Again, getting fresh tyres, bit of fuel just for this last stint of 10 minutes. CJW, few unfortunate moments we've caught from CJW in this race, and he finds himself in 8th. Dare say he could have had a slightly better result than that, but we're not finished yet, so let's not count him out. I'm being a bit unfair there. Sean in 9th. NGR E13 10th. Mad Marshall, they're all having their own little race towards the back here now really. NGR Mad Marshall in 11th. Graham Reeds is in 12th, binning it all over the place and getting out of the way as best he can. He's not seen him coming though. That's made it really hard for him to get past. That's a really bad move there from Graham. I didn't really want to catch anything like that on camera, but there's no excuse for that. Graham's getting lapped, the guy I'm on board with, and he just got in the way completely of a guy coming through. So, and he ended up in contact as well. So that's just not good enough, I'm afraid, there from Graham. I hate to say it, but it's got to be said at the same time. There is a certain, I know, like, you can't be too harsh on people because it should be open to any kind of driver that's looking to get into this kind of thing, but at the same time there is a certain standard that's expected when blue flags are being waved, and you need to get out of the way basically, and it's just not happening from that guy at the back. So it's just not fair on the guys that have put a good fast race together, and their race could almost depend on one moment trying to get past the back marker that could go all wrong, and it's just not fair really after the effort they've put in. So we've still got the race of Sleepless and Purzel going on, so we'll stick on board with this. This is the closest action between everyone, so we'll see what Purzel can do in the final parts of this race now, and see if we can catch up. Keep an eye on the gap. So the gap at the moment heading up the mountain, roughly about 1.5 seconds. Let's see if it's possible for Purzel to make it work. Well, you've got to say it sometimes. I mean, there's bad racing and there's moments where you can excuse someone for having a moment on the grass or losing the rear end or whatever it might be, but then there's just consistently getting in the way when you should be letting people past on blue flags. It's just not acceptable, and if you think it is, then racing probably ain't for you. You gave up on the pro race. Your Lambo let you down. It's way too tail happy, so I decided to park in the pits. Oh well, good move. At least you've made the right choice. If you're going to quit the race, come and watch me instead. But yeah, unfortunate there for you. It's a shame to hear that. Burnt fright, but that's the way it goes sometimes. It is a particularly tricky track for the rear end, I always find, Bathurst, so hopefully the Lambo will pay off for you on other tracks. I'm sure it will, it's a fast car. You're right, at this point in the race, someone's just mentioned in the chat, in case you're not looking at the chat, that it's only 5 minutes left now, so there's potential for mistakes to creep in. It's a long race, is this? It's a lot of concentration. I expect the guys at the top to be able to keep their heads, but some guys might start dropping it and making a few last minute mistakes here, so we'll try and keep an eye on the order and see what's going on. We've actually got Danzo and CJW pretty close together actually. Haven't really been paying attention to any of this. So Danzo, both got similar tyre weight. Interesting race, we'll keep an eye on this for a minute or two. And then we're getting towards the end of the race, so I like to, in my videos and replays and stuff, always give the respect to the winner and actually watch everyone come over the line basically. So even if there's a bit of action going on, I might end up missing it towards the end. Don't give up on the league, mate. You'll always regret giving up on the league. Unless you can't actually make the races for whatever reason. But yeah, if you're able to actually join every single week, don't give up. You'll regret it in the end when you're watching everyone else, and it ends up being a really good season. Look at this now from CJW. He knows it's not long left till the end of the race. He's pushing hard, pushing to the point that Danzo can't ignore him now, so he's going defensive in the BMW. CJW in the AMG. Oh, Danzo has a little moment of oversteer. CJW just finds a little bit of a gap to go past. Great work there from CJW, put a bit of pressure on. And I dare say Danzo lost the rear a little bit, maybe because of the pressure, maybe just a bit of an incident, a bit of an accident on his own. CJW having to defend though. Danzo coming back at him with the slipstream, but I think CJW has done enough there on this lap to keep in front, especially going up the mountain. Need to just keep calm now and hold that position. Good work there from CJW, glad I see all that. So good move, and gets himself up into 7th towards the end of the race. It's probably strategy that's worked out for him in one way or another, and finds the chance to push for those positions at the end. So we'll go through again. It looks like CJW is just going to get away. He's already pulled a 1.5 second gap as he's got past. So we do see a puff of smoke as he runs wide though, heading into the dipper. Tricky part of the track, as we all know. It even looks, without even driving it, it looks hard. Oh, mistake as he touched the inside wall on the brakes there, Danzo, so he's lost all kind of chance of catching CJW down Conrod Straight now. Got it wrong through Forest Elbow there. So that's that one over and done with, I dare say. Unless there's a big mistake from CJW, he's pretty much got that 7th position. He's pretty much his. He's got both hands on that. Purcell in 5th, still fighting away with CJW. The gap's not massive, but it's still there. Not CJW, sorry, Sleepless Nights. Sleepless Nights finds himself behind the back marker again. So he actually loses a bit of time to Purcell as Purcell gets past the back marker quite quickly. But Purcell has actually gained quite a bit of time because of that back marker. So Sleepless Nights now, in fact, it's sorry, no, it is, yeah, that's right. Yeah, getting confused because there was a car behind him, so I thought it was Cutler, but no, I was right in the first place. It's Sleepless Nights and Purcell. Purcell getting past. Purcell up into 4th. What's happened there? What's happened there? Oh, Sleepless Nights, I missed it, but he's picked up damage. Sleepless, what's happened there? So this is exactly what I was talking about, and that's what someone in the chat mentioned, mistakes creeping in at the end. And Sleepless, unfortunately for him, he's had such a good race, but he's binned it towards the end somewhere. I've missed exactly what happened, but he's yeah, obviously something's gone wrong for him, and he's picked up engine damage. He's going to have to dive in the pit, so he does, and that's a really bad one. So Purcell taking advantage of that one. He must have got it wrong going into Forest Elbow or something, because he seemed fine up until that point, but lost all the speed down Conrod Straight to Purcell there. That was, oh, I feel sorry for Sleepless. Let's see where he comes out of the pits. So he comes out of the pits in 5th position. But yeah, that's a bad one for Sleepless. He'll kick himself for that one. So we're actually coming, this is the final lap of the race now. Jambu's actually cruising over the finish line, so he didn't have to do another lap. So Jambu brings it home in 1st place for the first round of the team versus team SIMFX, MRC and NGR, all together battling against each other. Really good race from Jambu there, great qualifying and great race. Wasn't quite in 1st position the whole race, lost it on the start of the race, but then managed to get it back soon enough and had a really good race from that point on. In the end, ends up with a 30-second gap to Joe Winner that comes in 2nd. Good race from Joe in the BMW M643, whatever it is, I should know. Robinson bringing it home in 4th, weaving over the line to celebrate. Still a good time as well there from Robinson in the Ford. So bringing it home in 4th for a good race. Purcell coming towards the end, Sleepless Nights coming towards the end, but we'll go through the guys that have already finished a bit further back. CJW finishing in 7th, Danzo in 8th, NGR E30 will be finishing in 9th, Sean will be finishing in 10th, NGR Mad Marshall in 11th, Graham Reed in 12th, and Pilgrim Paddy in 13th in the end. So we'll jump back up to Purcell, watch him come over the line. Odd way that Gran Turismo works with these endurance championships. Some people get to do an extra lap and all the rest of it, so that's how I prefer to do the ending. So Purcell brings it home in 4th. Good finish there from Purcell in the end, and kicking himself to the line after that more or less last lap incident that gave him damage. Sleepless Night, still a good result though, still can be proud of himself for that one, but not quite as high up as he could have been. And then we've got NGR Cutler bringing it home in 6th in the BMW. So all in all, pretty good race, pretty action-packed start, and just to summarise a little bit, big gaps between everyone through the midsection of the race, a couple of good overtakes here and there from a couple of the guys, and that was about it really. So all in all, pretty clean, good action. Bit of a nuisance with the back marker for everyone to get past, but it's not for me to point these things out. I'm sure it's got noticed by everyone. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Is there any questions? If there isn't, I'm going to pretty much leave it there. If you haven't already and you fancy doing so, subscribe. It would help my channel out massively, and give us a like if you've enjoyed this as well. It's my first time doing live commentary, so feel free to leave a comment about how I've done. Feel free to say that I've chatted too much, because I feel like that's probably what I've done. I've probably been a little bit too talkative, but yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully you'll enjoy me for the rest of the season, and certainly next race next week. So this is a weekly thing, and next Wednesday I'll be back again to do the same. Take care, and I will see you all again soon. Thanks for joining me, especially if you joined me right from the start. Really appreciate it, and well, I appreciate anyone joining me. Thanks again, take care, thanks for all the messages. I've been Eddie G, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Adios. Oh, final message before I go. Good night. Take care, Billy.